Hi, and welcome to this very short case study video where I'm going to show you how we took this fitness niche client from barely breaking even to an increase of 208% in revenue. And over the last decade, I won't want to say decade, but the time I've been on together with them, we've had a revenue on 4,374,000 Danish kroner. So, with that introduction, let me just introduce myself as well. As you might know already, my name is Thomas, and I'm the founder of AdNomad. And we are an agency that have specialized in helping e-commerce brands scaling their company and general brand to the next level. And we do that by taking our approach to having e-commerce stores scaled through paid advertisement and looking overall on how you make money today and how you can increase it. So, who's this video for? It is for you that is a business owner today that has an e-commerce store. You already have a successful product. Well, you might be stuck on scaling your business to the next level. And that is probably where you see that your cost per acquisition and ROAS is dropping or rising in the wrong way when you are trying to scale your budgets. And I think we have a solution for that. At least that's what we've seen with a few of our clients, where we have this successful case, but also more than one handful of other good cases where we see a lot of happy clients. So we've done this for the last 3 or 4 years and continue to do the, especially with also clients like this, where we see a continuous growth. Alone this year, we have 123% growth on this client, and in total 208 for the whole period we've been on. And hopefully, well, from this case study, you'll see a little bit of how we do it, or at least I can explain a little bit about it. I'm gonna at least show you what happens when we take our approach and try to put more money into the machine. That should hopefully give you more sales in the end. And how do we do it? Well, especially for this fitness niche client, they didn't know the numbers to the beginning with, so they had another agency on before us, and everything seemed well. They had a lot of revenue, they had a lot of orders, but they didn't know the back numbers. And that meant that they were barely breaking even. So for every dollar they spent, they almost got the same dollar back. And that is not a profitable business. That is a sinking hole where you keep putting more money into it just to keep the high level of orders. But if you don't make any money, it's really not a good business. And every business owner would say that. Hopefully, you think the same thing. So what did we do when we started out? Yeah, we took our approach and looked through the data they already have because they already ran Google and Facebook ads and Instagram ads and so on. And there were a few winners, but none were picked out and none were duplicated and put into a system where we continuously could scale the ads we were having. And the former agency didn't have a close communication with the owners and the content team that this brand are fortunate to have. So there were no communication on, okay, this ad is working good, but this ad is not working. What should we make more of in the next period? And are we even working with the right influences and so on? So taking a look at the whole perspective of this business, well, we were able to come up with a plan where we could implement the right paid advertisement, the right email marketing automation, conversion rate optimize the page, which has done a huge difference because we have a lot of traffic, and then also the content creation, which kind of content are we showing, who are we showing on these ads, because the type of content we saw before versus what we see now is completely different on the personal and influencers we're using. And we see that alone, that type of people we are using have made the whole difference on this company. Yeah, an example is before it was advertised only um, to bodybuilders with very big muscles and the type of people you might dream of, but you can't compare yourself to. And what we saw is that when we shifted over to the everyday person and the bigger market instead of just focusing on 5% of the market, maybe focusing on the 95% of the market instead in fitness, in the fitness industry. Well, it makes sense that we have a lot of more potential clients, and that's also why we can see that it's now a profitable business. So not only have we scaled their overall revenue, we also have increased the profit they make on the bottom, and we continue to do that. So as said, well, all these results are based on the profit that we are generating for our clients, and that's how we work. We are not just another agency that just sit back, lean back, and set something up that's just working. We are scaling with you because that's how our approach is. So as said, we went in with the approach to solve the everyday person's fitness issues, if you can say that, because they're in the niche market of fitness products you can use. Well, we focused all of the attention on went in to see how our avatar is working. So when we hit the right communication to the potential client and we put that into our ads compared to very high quality of ads as well, well, we saw that we could suddenly have a good product, show the quality, and also see that the sales just in general were scaling up and up and up. The more money we put in, the more money we get out. Uh, and the only thing that plateaued it was again that we have a lack of stock in the warehouse, and they had to upscale their production, but that also takes time. So that's also a phase where now we can upscale even further. But the sales were so good, and we started in Denmark, so we actually started to scale out to Sweden, and that is also something we see right now is a very, very good and productive case where we have shown a high demand for the product, and we also see a higher ROAS and a cost per acquisition that is almost equal to the very, very good Danish content and ads we have. So this is also hopefully be another success case we can do in not too long in the future. That we're also gonna have Sweden and Germany and Norway, and in fact we are gonna scale to the whole of Europe because there's no limit on this product. Everybody's using it. So for this case, the way we looked at it is that we really we really specified on who we are advertising to and who we're talking to and the content we send out in the communication. And that meant that we took a new approach to the influencers because let's just face it, the fitness industry is uh, a lot of influencers, and they have a customer base already that follows and could be in our avatar group. So it makes sense to partner up with a lot of the right influencers and make them part of our program as ambassadors instead of just a normal influencer. That meant we also saw a lot of good potential in the partner ads, and some of the best ads we actually have are with partners or influencers, as we say. But it's not all that are doing that today, but we need to create a lot of trust in this market to say this product is actually high quality because you can find the same kind of products that are really, really cheap and doesn't last as long as this one. So when we take these are hand sewn in Denmark and hand produced and are in high quality. So that's also what we want to communicate out to the people. So yeah, solving the right problem with the right content is something we saw that decreased our cost per acquisition and in overall costs for the company. So we also made more profit in the bottom line in the company. That meant that now they are actually able to put in a higher production value in the end because they are able to invest in the company. So I said the challenge here is that this e-commerce brand was profitable with ads, but stuck at a plateau, and they didn't even make any money at that point. So we needed to scale this company product profitability and making them to the next level and taking it up and also be confident in that every time we put in a dollar, we get those $5 to $6 to $10 out in the other end. And with a profit margin in around 45%, it's just really, really important to do. Because then you're, instead of going broke every month, you suddenly have enough money in the end of the month to buy the next order and set the other production line in, as we see here. So actually, within the first month that we went in and started to advertise for them, well, we saw that our cost per acquisition actually dropped with 50%. And since then, it's actually been even less in some of our campaigns. We see a cost per acquisition all the way down to 35 kroners, and that's roughly around 5 euros, if you can say that, or $6 to $7. And before it was all the way up to 100 kroner, which is around 14, 15 euros and almost the same in dollars. So let's just say suddenly we were spending the same amount of money, but we got a lot of more potential out of the money they were having here. And just to show you here that I have an outline from the actual store here, where you can see that within the period we started in July in 2023 and still have to this day, well, you can definitely see the curve going up, and then in this period alone, we have made 4,374,000 kroner for these guys, and yeah, took them 208% up. And I could also show you at some point that all this year alone, we are 123% up for this year as well. But yeah, in overall, all these numbers are really good, but seeing how many people we actually get in and having a conversion rate of all these people on 4.14% is really, really, really good. When you have this amount of people in, and as you see here, it's just something we keep scaling up, and we have hit a production line limit now. But on within the next year, I'm gonna guarantee you we're gonna keep scaling, and you're gonna see this ladder going up, 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 and up. Because as said, this is a product we can scale to other countries than Denmark. To achieve these 4,374,000 kroner, we've spent 610,000 kroners on Meta and 171,000 kroner on Google Ads. And as you'll see here, we are testing a lot of stuff, and we see that we also have a lot of very, very good ads running. And the way we approach this is, yeah, every time we have a winner, we try to duplicate them, test them in a new target audience, test them in a new way. And yeah, in general, just continuous growth is coming from continuous testing. Because every time you find a gold mine, you need to duplicate it even further out. Is this working with another uh, message, or can we have another product in our product line where we create the same kind of content, and then in that way we are yeah, just starting one by one all the time, and instead of having one winner, we have 20 winners we can keep scaling up with. And the same is actually for Google. As you'll see here, we have spent 171,000 kroner. And yeah, we have a lot of clicks from these, and a very high demand, and some very, very, very cheap cost per purchase over here. This is all the way down to 9 kroner, 19 kroner, and in dollars it's $2 to $3 per purchase. And that's also why we scale as much as possible on Google. Of course, there's a plateau in how much demand there is on the searches. So we always want to be on top. And we can also see on Google that we don't lose any searches at the moment on the budget because we scale it so high up and our costs is so low. So when you search for these kinds of products, then we are definitely on top, and we also see that. So the overall challenge with this niche e-commerce is that we have tested and they have tested different ways of scaling their sales. It converted very badly. It was very badly set up. There was no structure in it. There was no omni-channel on it. There was nothing that was talking together. They didn't know what the ideal customer looked like. As said earlier, they focused only on the bodybuilding business and industry and so forth. Also, those kind of people, I will say kind of people, because it can also scare the perfect avatar away that you can identify yourself with these guys. So we took the approach of looking at it and say, okay, let's try and get it out to the everyday user of this product because they are using the product already, just from other guys. And that means that right now we are in a position where people actually know who you are, and you see it in any fitness center. At the moment, you see these guys, or our guys, let's say that, um, in the fitness center, and that's because right now they have everybody is recommending to use it. People see it in the center, and then and also creates more and more attention and trust in this kind of industry. So we fixed the attempt of trying to scale without going on a compromise with the ROAS and see a rising cost per acquisition. So overall, we turned the thing around, or this thing around, and made it profitable for these guys to run a business. So our approach to this is that we completely restructured the ad account with our data-driven scaling system. And that means that we, of course, took a look at what worked already for these guys. And then we went in and saw, okay, let's use our form of communication, the ads we at least know that is working when we scale other businesses. And let's take a look at how we can completely restructure this way, because what they were doing was completely not working. It was, yeah, it was a bad business to run at that point. That also means that we tailored the creatives for each awareness stage for these guys. And then, yeah, so what is it? Is it, are we in the top of the funnel? Are we in the bottom of the funnel? Is it retention? Have they bought from us before? Well, if you don't know where your clients are and where they are in the awareness stage, then you can't really send a clear message to them and make them buy from you. That also means that we took a look at the conversion rate optimization and made some conversion focused adjustments. And that means we made the page even better. We have a really, really good developer that took a look at it and went back and saw, okay, how can we make it easier? How can we optimize page? How can we make it even better in every way? Because a good experience for the client is the most important part of this. Otherwise, they won't buy from us and they won't trust us. We set up the retention system with our email marketing to increase the lifetime value. And of course, you are in these kind of products. It's not always that you're gonna need more of it, but we are slowly also increasing the product line, and that means we have we are increasing at the moment our lifetime value for these clients, our customers, with our retention system, or at least with the flows we have automated, we set up with our abandoned cart and welcome system and browser abandonment. Well, we are converting a lot more people than we were before. Of course, we are scaling through continuous testing, and that's my approach and how we approach things. Always, we need to test, test, test. Otherwise, we don't know what's working. You can't, as I say to all my clients, they ask me, "Oh, will this sell? Or will this work? And is this ad the best?" I honestly can't tell you what's the work, what works the best before we test it and we find out some parameters that is setting the structure for the ad account and the way we are gonna scale your business. Because we're gonna look at the data and see exactly what's working and what's not working, because it's a waste of time of spending both money and time on ads that doesn't work and campaigns that doesn't work. Yeah, you get a very clear answer on if you're profitable or not today, and it's very easy to go in and take the right approach if you know what you're looking for. And that's at least what we know today, and we can see the results are speaking for themselves. So the takeaway with this whole video is that scaling doesn't have to mean you have to sacrifice your ROAS. With the right system, you can grow profitably. You have to know your numbers, and that's what we are going to take a look at when we do it. And also overall, how can we scale you profitably through the whole funnel, the retention system? Are you one of the 80% of all businesses today that doesn't have a correct email system and catch your very, very warm audience in the end of your line. If you're not, then you're really leaving money on the table. So said, this is not the first time I do this. We've done this for a lot of clients now, and we see that we are able to help e-commerce businesses scale. So if that is you and you are currently struggling to scale your e-commerce brand, well, let's talk. I will be happy to jump on a discovery call with you, and at least you can get some key takeaways on your business and what parameters you have to look for and what numbers you have to look for. So let's get in touch and talk about what we can do for you guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.